welcome to another edition of Pensacola Wants to Know. Today, as I always promise you, I always have great shows for you, but I want to introduce you to a young man that's over in Okaloosa County, Mr. Sabu Williams. He's the president of the Okaloosa County NAACP. Welcome to the show, Sabu.
Thank you, Vernon, for having me, and thank you for calling me a young man as well.
well, you know what they say, black don't crack. So you looking young man here.
Well,
You don't have as much gray as I have. So anybody got less gray than I got, obviously is a young man to me.
well,
How
I'll
you so?
take that from you, Vernon.
All righty, dear. Very good. Sabu, I know you are the president of the Okaloosa County NAACP. Am I correct?
You are absolutely correct. Yes, sir.
Give us and I know every year uh, you have your freedom funds, what I call your freedom fund banquet, okay?
Right.
And I can tell you what, Sabu, I that goes back for many years because I remember the days I was back in that part of the woods with my reserve unit, and every year I had those banquets. How long have you been doing this?
Well, this is our 31st Freedom Fund banquet, and so it's been at least 31 years. There's probably been a couple of years or two when we didn't have it. During the pandemic, for instance, we didn't have the banquet, and so if you look at that, probably for the last 35 years at least, we've been doing the banquet. It's been a
Okay.
while,
Can you give us the
absolutely.
history? Can you give us the history of the Okaloosa County NAACP?
Well, the history, at least as far as I know, in fact, our branch this year is 75 years old. This is our 75th anniversary. We were born, if you will, on April the 12th, 1948.
Wow.
A long time ago. Now, I wasn't the president then. I wasn't even present then. I wasn't even born then, Versa. So don't get that in your head. But yeah, our branch goes back to 1948. In fact, our first president was a man by the name of Nathaniel Harris, and he died just a few years ago.
Okay.
But his grandchildren are part of our branch still. In fact, his granddaughter, his his granddaughter is our youth advisor today.
Hmm.
So that just goes to show you how people can play it forward. How he had an impact on our community, and continues to have an impact on our community. In fact, you may even know one of his granddaughters, Quandra Pace, uh,
Yeah, I
who
don't
was
know
in.
it personally, but I know of Conda.
You ever
Okay.
heard of Quandra? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's his granddaughter as well. Yes.
Okay.
So from 1948 until now, we've had a tumultuous history, if you will, over the years. I got involved in 1981, 1982,
Hmm.
and at that particular time, we had this lawsuit going on with the Eglin Air Force Base over the hiring and the promotion of African Americans out on the base, and that lawsuit culminated in a civil trial and what you would call um, what did you do when you have the mediation when they come together, and I guess they have like you see, if I wasn't looking at you, Vernon, I would think of all of the words I could think of. What is it? Well, the lawsuit resulted in the impact on this community of folks being hired, being promoted. It had a great impact on the Eglin
Not a
and the
not a consent decree. Was it a consent decree?
consent decree. Thank you.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
See what happens when you get old? You start forgetting all those big words like consent decree. But that was one of the largest dissent decrees in the federal government for a long time there, and certainly helped not only people here in Oklahoma County, but even over in as far away as Pensacola areas as well.
Right.
Folks who were employed here at the base, coming from Pensacola and other areas from other surrounding counties from around here, and so I was involved in that. I was a little cub then, and I went from being a little NAACP cub to being the president under Mr. You probably know of Jim Miller,
Heard of
who
Jim?
was
Hmm.
the you remember Jim Miller and his wife Linda Miller at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I served under them and then several presidents since then. And uh, I last served under President Lewis Jennings. You probably
Yeah,
know
Lou
Lewis
Jennings.
very
Yeah.
well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Retired chief from out there at Eglin Air Force Base and out there from Duke Field where you worked, in fact.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And when Lewis handed me the reins, I held on to it for a little while, and I left in 2013 and went to Korea for served over there for about 3 years with the Air Force as a civilian in Korea, and then came back in 2019 and retired. And guess what? They handed me back the reins in 2021.
2021. Okay. All right.
So,
And they. I'm sure that they put it back in good, able hands again. Okay.
well, they did put it back in good hands, but I'm not sure how able these hands are anymore.
Oh, very
But we try
good.
to make them do as much as they can, as best as we can.
Okay. Now, were you a product of that consent decree, or how did that happen? Because I know you was a civilian out there at Eglin Air Force Base as well, right?
Yes, and I was involved in the consent decree, but not I was not one of the plaintiffs. And I tell you why. I was a staff sergeant in the Air Force at the time I joined the NAACP,
Oh, okay.
and the consent decree was going on. And in fact, I didn't get out of the Air Force until 1982, and the decree was determined in the early part of '82. So I wasn't part of the class, but
Right.
I was certainly part of the action. I remember
Mm-hmm.
I remember I have several meetings that we've had with the plaintiffs. We had a class A and a class B. We had so to speak, the white collar workers were class A and the blue collar workers were class B, and then we had that kind of thing going on and some issues there. But what I remember very vividly is, we were having some issues with our attorneys at the time, our lawyers, and we wanted to get some NAACP International to sort of pay attention to us. And so we went to Tallahassee to a banquet, to a Freedom Fund banquet they were having in Tallahassee, and the guest speaker was the executive director of the NAACP at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And we went down there to the banquet with the extent purpose of cornering the guest speaker, the executive director of the NAACP International. And we did. We caught him on an elevator going up the elevator, and we sort of grabbed him then and told him what our plight was, and we got some assistance from him, and things kind of moved forward from there. But that's kind of the thing that I was sort of used to doing, was capturing people when we had to, because we weren't very well known as a branch at that time,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
as anywhere.
Well,
But
I'm
after
sure.
that, we were sort of well known.
Well, see, I'm sure that the NAACP in Okaloosa County has been a very important organization to shape the political sphere, as well as uh, everything else in Santa Rosa County, to make folks' lives a lot better for employment and many other things there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And and we always, my motto is that we're nonpartisan, but we're not non-political. You
Right.
know, we certainly involved in the politics of the world, because that's what affects our lives on a daily basis. We can be nonpartisan, but we have certain focus and ideas as it relates to the issues of the day. Some of
Yeah.
those issues are national, some of them are state, but many of them are local. And what we do in our local community affects all of us oftentimes. And
Yeah.
we're certainly involved in our local the politics, if you will, or local government as much as we can be, and try to help affect the change. Oftentimes, those changes for the better of all people. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't seek a change for the better of Black folks. We seek a change for the better of people.
Yeah.
Um,
One of the mantras of the NAACP is that we talk about freedom, but they say freedom is not free.
Never has
it
been.
costs money. It costs money for freedom, and that is one of the reasons that you have your annual banquet, because it's one of your major fundraisers.
That's
Is it
correct. That's
okay?
that's right. That's very much our major fundraiser. In fact, it's pretty much the only fundraiser that I do during the year. We don't focus on washing cars and selling chicken dinners, and we try to do one annual fundraiser to help support the work of the branch throughout the year. And this is the Freedom Fund dinner that we do. We've certainly been blessed to have key sponsors from from across the Panhandle, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and without those key sponsors, we wouldn't be able to do the work, some of the work that we do in our communities.
Okay. Now, this year, you are having it. Can you tell us about the banquet for this year?
Well, this year our banquet will be held on November the 18th, about 10 days from now, just about. It will be in the city of Fort Walton Beach on Okaloosa Island. And as you can see, our guest speaker is a young lady by the name of Angel Harris. Now, folks
Okay.
might say, who was Angel Harris? Well, first of all, let me tell you, she is a presiding judge out of the New Orleans parish from New Orleans, Louisiana. She has been involved in the civil rights work for a number of years. In fact, she started out with the NAACP Legal Defense and Foundation Fund, and she's basically known she's a recognized expert on criminal justice and civil rights issues. She has a strong background in civil rights, coming out of the Legal Defense Fund. She is she's been an attorney with the ACLU Capital Punishment Project, where she represented death sentence prisoners nationwide. And she was a public defender in Louisiana for some time now. She graduated from Georgetown University Law Center in 2009, and she's a summa cum laude from Hampton University. I think that's an HBCU.
Yep.
She has
Yep.
a BA in English, and so she's a member of the Louisiana State Bar. Now, I said all that. She has a wonderful, wonderful bio. But here's what really makes her special to us. Earlier this year, we lost one of our members by the name of George Stakely Sr. He was been a long-time member of this branch, served in several roles, vice president, housing, and all kinds of things. He's from Crestview, Florida, and he passed away earlier this year. And I went to his funeral, and Angel was there, and she spoke at his funeral. Angel is George's granddaughter,
Really? Okay.
really, and I was impressed at her speech at his funeral. It was at the time when I heard her speak at her grandfather's funeral. I said, I think I'd like to have this lady come and speak for us, at our banquet this year. And so I reached out to her, and lo and behold, she has agreed to come, and she'll be driving over here. But we're just happy to have the granddaughter of one of our own members who just recently passed come and to fill that that podium that day. I'm just excited about that. One of my preachers would say, "I'm happy glad to have her come and be our guest
Happy
speaker."
glad.
Happy glad.
All right. And that's going to be on November the 18th, Saturday, right? November the
That's a
18th.
Saturday. Yeah. We'll kick it off at 5 o'clock that afternoon. It's going to be held at the Island Resort Hotel on Okaloosa Island,
Hmm.
beautiful Okaloosa Island, in the Aruba Room. Um, the cost of tickets is $65, and I might say, Vernon, our tickets have gone very fast. I think I'm down to about a few more to go.
Okay.
I can maybe fit a few more folks in there, but we certainly welcome you to come if you want to. Your audience, your listening audience, it's open to the general public. Tickets can be purchased on our website. I think you had our website
Yeah.
up there. It's naacp-okaloosa.org is our website, and you can pick your tickets up from there. Or you can just reach out to one of us and myself or others on the NAACP if you know any of us, and we'll certainly try to accommodate all those who want to come. But at some point, I'm going to have to shut it down, and that point is probably fast approaching.
Okay. Now, while we're on the website, Sabu, another thing they
Mm-hmm.
can do while they're on the website, they could also donate to the organization. Am I correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can support us even if you can't come to the dinner. You can live as far away as Alaska and still be a supporter of our branch by simply donating right on the website, and that's been a tremendous blessing to us. And we use that donation to not only to bless our branch, but to bless other entities that we're doing. For instance, just a few weeks ago, I was contacted by a local organization that handles women and children with women and families,
Hmm.
women with children and families, and they're homeless, if you will. and this is a shelter for them. And they wanted pillows. They needed some pillows, and they reached out to the NAACP to donate pillows. And I used our site, and folks contributed funds, and from the funds that we received from that, we bought the pillows that they needed for that particular organization. We were just coming on board with our donate key on our website. This is new to us within the last couple of months, and so we're certainly trying to use it in many various ways, not only to receive funds for what we do, but to also reach out to help others have a need in our community.
Now, not only that, if they want to become a member. You know what the old saying is, right? With NAACP, you're already a member. Just pay your dues.
That's right.
So,
You say pay your dues, yeah. That's
so
exactly right. You know exactly.
yeah. So how does one become a member of the Okaloosa County NAACP? And I wanna say this too. You know, and sometimes we get so monolithic in our thinking. Uh, you can be a member of more than one organization if you want to, or if you just contribute to it. If I want to be a part of NAACP in Okaloosa County, that won't preclude just because I am a member of the Santa Rosa County the Escambia County NAACP. But if I wanted to be a part of NAACP in Okaloosa County, I can. That will nothing preclude me from being a member of that. The membership.
Absolutely.
The last time I heard, I know they have to increase the rates by now, but the last time I heard, at one time, the membership was only $35, something like that, right? I know they probably raised the rates right now, but you can probably be a member at that rate. You can probably be a member of every NAACP chapter in the country for little or nothing. But anyway, what is the if you want to be a member of the NAACP today? Has it been raised from $35?
Well, let me tell you something, Vernon, and you're going to probably appreciate this. First of all, you can join our branch right there on our website. Again, you can. There's a button you can click on to become a member. I
Mm-hmm.
got a call from our guest speaker. I told you she's the granddaughter of one of our oldest members who passed away this year.
Mm-hmm.
Her uncle is his name is Dion Sanders is going to introduce her that evening, and he called me just the other day and he said, "Sabu," I said, I want to be a member of the NAACP, my wife and I, and even my daughter." He said, "But I went on your site and I think something's wrong. It says it's $30 a year. Is that? I know that's not right. I know there must be something different about that. What's going on here?" And I said, I said, "Dion, it is $30, period, a
That
year."
that is amazing. That is amazing. That's the only thing that
Yeah.
inflation hadn't hit is the NAACP. Dude, it's cheaper than I thought. I thought it was $35,
You said
but you're actually
35.
right. It's only $30 if you're 21 and above. If you even cheaper if you happen to be a youth under 20. It's only what
I think it's still
$15.
$10 if you're a youth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do
And
it for $10 if you're a young person.
yeah, and you know what else, Sabu? Uh,
What's that?
Crisis Magazine is still on the $10 a year. My
Well,
God,
I think it's 15 if you're youth, yeah, it's 15.
yeah,
But they've gone
wow,
electronically on their Crisis magazine. That we used to get the hard copies. Now it's an electronic version, but it's still included. You know,
mm, wow.
it's the largest civil rights organization in our country. It's been around since uh, uh,
1909.
1909. I was trying to look down to see if I had the date on my shirt. Over 114 years now, and the membership is $30 a year. Now look,
Yeah,
I tell people all the time, you can support us by simply becoming a member. You don't have to march in any marches. You don't have to go to any meetings if you don't want. You don't have to, go out here and advocate for anything. We'll do it all for you. But you help us by becoming a member. Your membership certainly supports us, and we certainly welcome your work as well.
yeah.
But you can do it. You can join us and be a member. And if you decide at some point to get involved in something, maybe working with our young people or working with housing or people who are health or environmental issues or whatever it might tickle your fancy, we would welcome that as well. But you don't have to think that joining us means that you're going to, be out here doing some work if that's not what you want to do at this point.
I can remember one time, Sabu. I went to one of these conferences, and I can't remember which one it was. Whether it was Black in Government, It might have been the NAACP conference. I can't remember, but and they had a membership table out there, and they had
Hmm.
the NAACP organization that was hosting it locally was hosting it, and they was doing membership. And so, but at that time, and I don't know, we didn't have an active NAACP organization at that time in Pensacola for whatever reason it was. And
Hmm.
so I went to that table and I said, I want to join the NAACP. And the lady said, no, you need to join at your own branch. Then another wise guy happened to say, no, why, if he could be a member of anywhere he wants to be. And so all I wanted to be was a card carrying, what they said, card carrying member of the NAACP. I wanted to do my share. I wanted to donate, be a part of the organization. And so therefore, I joined, I think it was the Philadelphia NAACP or something like that. So I can say that I was a member of the NAACP.
That's right.
Yeah,
And look, I'm a member of at least five different branches.
right.
I'm from Newburgh, New York. I'm a member of the branch there in Newburgh. It supports them. My membership, in these branches, I mean, I'm not able to go and vote or hold office because I don't live in the area, and that's the
Hmm.
only thing
Right,
that precludes me. Only thing I can't do. But I'm a member all over the place.
right.
I try
And
to be.
and what people doesn't realize that the membership is it just it's another way of just bringing in helping bringing in funds as well. So you don't have to be an active member. Like I said, you don't have to be hold office in an organization. Just you know, and I know you major in business like I did. And but the Pareto principle always talks about there's only going to be a very few people in the
Doing
organization
all the
that
work.
carries the organizations anyway. Okay, and
That's right.
so the few in the, what they call the few in the many, and so but your support, you it's just like being a member of the church, right?
I was
You
going to
know,
say the same thing.
you remember the church, but only the preachers and the deacons and the usher board and all that thing, the leadership of the church carry out the business of the church. And the only thing you
Hmm.
do is show up every Sunday and so forth. Well, NAACP is the same thing. We need your membership. Okay,
Right.
membership strength. There's strength in numbers. That people don't
Strength
realize
and
strength
numbers.
in numbers. Okay, and we get enough of those $30 memberships, it could significantly change the trajectory of what the NAACP is trying to do because money means everything. You can't do anything in this world without money and nothing else.
And
If you wanted to don't, if you can't go to the NAACP conference, I mean, so if you want to donate the $65, hey, you will accept the donation, or you can give your tickets to
absolutely.
somebody else. But go ahead, Sabu.
No, no, you're absolutely right. We'll accept the donation. It's $65, $50, $25, $10, $5. I mean, we accept the donation of any amount, any way you can help. And you're right. It's I'm a deacon at a Baptist church, and so and I know what you mean by those numbers. Oftentimes, 10% of the church is doing 90% of the work in the
Right,
church. And not only the church, but any organization that you're a part of.
exactly.
It can be a Divine Line organization, NAACP, or something going on. I mean, at the school, but oftentimes, the few are carrying the work and the
The meaning,
burden on their shoulders.
yeah.
Right. But this is a way that people can help carry the burden by A, becoming a member, or B, if they don't even want to have a membership, just providing a donation. A one-time donation would be very appreciative and welcome to have. But there are many,
Absolutely.
many ways that folks can get involved, without having to step outside their door. Our meetings are even held online via Zoom, if you will. So
Oh,
people don't
really?
even now have to leave their living rooms to come meet with us now.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
Sabu. Okay, that's a
yes, sir.
very important point. Okay, I'm glad we're getting into the 22nd, 21st, and 22nd century now. You're right. The COVID had many flaws, but behind every dark cloud, there's a lot of silver lining, and so it
Amen.
taught us to we can do the alternative ways. And I'm so glad to hear you say that the meetings are held by Zoom. That
Yes.
that people that ordinarily wanted to come and didn't have time to go, because in a meeting, we got to get out in a minute. See how time flies. People often tell me, I need to meet with you. And I said, well, can we talk on the phone or can we talk by Zoom? Because for a half an hour meeting, you got to leave your office an hour early to get there. And then
Right.
you get your half an hour meeting turned out to be an hour. And then you got to go back to your office, another hour wasted. So that's 3 hours of wasted. If you get on the phone or get on Zoom, you get directly to the point. But I'm tell them
Absolutely.
when are your meetings and how they can get on Zoom.
Well, we meet on the first Thursday of every month from 6 p.m. until 4 at 6 p.m. on Zoom. Now, I do have to send a link to people to get on Zoom, and I'll probably try to start putting that link or that our passcode and everything on our website. We
Right.
do try to manage this because sometimes we can get a crazy person on there that tells me what they think about the NAACP that we don't want to necessarily hear. So we
Well,
do try to manage who's on there, but.
yeah. Well, you control that then on that end. But let me tell you that our time flies. Let's talk about how they can get back to get their tickets for the Freedom Fund banquet.
All right. Again, you can go to naacp-okaloosa.org, and on there'll be a 2023 banquet link. You can click on that link and you can purchase your tickets right on that link. There is a $2.50 service charge when you purchase tickets online. Or you can call me at 850-783-0047, and I'll make sure that we have tickets at the door for you, and you won't have to worry about the service charge. So
Okay.
we'll find all kinds of ways to get you a ticket if you need one, if you want one.
Exactly right. Exactly. Give me your number again one more time, because we don't get it the first time. I got to get my phone out first so I can punch it into the phone. All right, y'all get the phone out, punch it into the phone, and put this. This is the Okaloosa County NAACP. Whether you want to become a member or you want to become get a ticket for the banquet, it's Sabu Williams. Okay, Sabu, give him that number again for the Okaloosa County NAACP.
All right, and that is 850-783-0047.
All right. Well, Sabu, our time is about up. I'll give you the last 30 seconds to tell Pensacola anything else you want us to know.
Well, Pensacola, I certainly have appreciated being a part of this community, and to include Pensacola. I was there just recently for the funeral of a good friend, Georgia Blackman, who I know many of your listeners know
Yeah.
and have loved as well. And I certainly ask you to reach out. If you don't reach out to me, reach out to Mr. Vin Durant, who is the president of Pensacola NAACP over there. And look, we're just here to help you wherever we are. We've got an NAACP branch in Pensacola, in Santa Rosa, in Okaloosa, and Walton County. If you need some assistance, need some help, call us in any one of those places.
All right. When you ever get a hold of Vin, tell him he need to call me, because we both been did a show and we got sidetracked for some reason. I got to get him back on the air. Okay.
All right, I will do that.
All right.
And
Sabu,
thanks for
thank
having us
you.
this morning, my friend.
Oh, no
Thank you for
problem.
letting us be here.
No
All
problem.
right, be
Pensacola,
blessed.
thank you. And we'll see you again on another edition of Pensacola Wants to Know. Sabu, thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless.
Okay.